Our theme for today is, the title is Undissaving Mercy of God, or rather you can say the Undissaving Grace of God. And I would love us to go together to the book of Lamentations 3:22 through 23. Lamentations 3:22 to 23. We get him. The undeserving mercy of God, or if you may, the undeserving grace of God. Lamentations 3:22 to 23. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. When you talk of mercy, mercy goes along with favor, and it goes together with grace. Mercy, when you speak of favor, favor is the outcome of mercy, and grace is the outcome of favor. So in Hebrew translation of mercy, they call it charis, meaning God's undeserved favor or gifts to sinners. In the Hebrew word, they call it chest, meaning steadfast love or the unwavering mercy of God. If I may ask you, what do you know mercy to be? Ama, what's your understanding of grace, or rather mercy? Mercy, the mercy of God, it's the divine compassion, as you have seen in verses 22. You can take us there. It is the divine compassion and kindness that is not earned by a person, but given freely by God out of love or grace. We see here in verses 22, it is saying that because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed. When you think of the word consumed, ni kitu inaondoa, isn't it? So because of his great love, we are not consumed. For his love, for his compassions never fail. And it's not just compassion, iko in plural form, compassions. Yani ni kitu inajiendeleza, ni kitu iko kwa wingi, muda kwa muda, wakati kwa wakati. So God's love to us humans, as we have seen in Lamentations 3:22. How many times have you walked through a pit, and yet you find yourself coming out of it whole, strong? Yes, unaweza toka hapo ukiwa battered and bruised, but due to his compassions, due to his great love, you're not consumed. When we speak of addictions, tunajua most people die out of addictions, be it drinking, lust, you name it the way you would like to name it. But are you so good this morning that you got the chance to be in this place today? Is it that you pray to God so oftenly, ama so your words are so correct or so put together that God anakupea hii chance ya kuwa in this place leo? So when I was thinking about mercy, like, it weighed deeply on me mwenyewe. What did I give God ndo anipe chance ya kumjua? Nini hiyo mzuri niliwahi mfanyia ndo anipe hii connection? You know, when we say you know God, it's you're in a relationship with him. Ama? So, nini hiyo kubwa umefanyia God ndo mko in that relationship with him? So, it's all because of his mercy. I want us to go to the book of Genesis 39. Genesis chapter 39, verses 21 to 23. Genesis 39, 21 to 23. As we are reading, it's the story of Joseph. Wakati alikuwa amekuwa inaitwa korokoroni. And it says, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favor in the eyes of the prison warden. Next. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all those held in prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. Ilikuwa ni time yenye Joseph alikuwa amekuwa gerezani due to Potiphar's wife's claims that he wanted to rape her. He wanted to take advantage of her. Aliyekuwa in jail in an unjust form, but even there, the Lord never forsake him. The Lord still chased him even though he was in prison. So I want us to see the way Joseph's story turned around wakati alikuwa in prison. How good was he ndo apewe chance ama apandishwe cheo ya kuwa ni ana govern the other prisoners? What good did he do to God ndo apewe hiyo chance? Ama you ask yourself, what good did you do ndo deserve kuwa kwa place yenye uko? To be in the family you are in, to be in the place maybe where you work. Wengine wetu tukiweza tukajiangalia, it's not that we are so disciplined, principled, we know how to talk well. Vitu zingine ni neema tu ya God. And when he say ni neema, bado inakujana na rehema, his mercies. So Joseph's story ama Joseph's life took a turning point wakati alikuwa in that prison. In that prison kuna watu wawili alipatana na wao and they had dreams. One akaona, he saw a cup, kuna cup alikuwa anapatilishia the king, and the other one akaona kuna tough situation alikuwa anakuja kupitia. So Joseph helped them to interpret the dream, and tunaona akiwasaidia kuinterpret the dream, anawaambia, and when you get out, remember me, mniongelele kwa king ndo hata mimi nipate chance ya kutoka. So in the first man story, Joseph anapata chance, huyo msee anapata chance ya kutoka out of prison in 3 days. Tunaweza enda in Genesis 39, tunaweza rudi nyuma from verses maybe 15. No, in Genesis 40, sorry. I'll start from verses 5. One night there, I'm using Good News so we can read together. Each of the two men, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who are being held in prison, had a dream the same night, and each dream had a meaning of its own. When Joseph came to them the next morning, he saw that they were dejected. So he asked Pharaoh's officials who were in custody with him in his master's house, "Why are your faces so sad today?" "We both had dreams," they answered, "but there is no one to interpret them." Then Joseph said to them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me your dreams." In Good News version it says, It is God who gives the ability to interpret dreams, Joseph said. We can go to the next verse. I was thinking of this word. For instance, ukiweza ukapimiwa tu hewa tu kidogo, unaona venye msee anashindwa kupumua, unaona? Like imagine si wote tungelee so formless in this place without that bread. So sisi nini tumemfanyia ndo atuweke hapa? So ni neema yake, ni rehema zake. We are not deserving of his mercy. And mark you, everyone who is present here today, our lives equals his mercy. And mercy is the compassion, ama pity, ama sympathy God shows to humans. Favor is the outcome or the manifestation of God's mercy. When you talk of grace, grace is the direct result of that mercy. Or you can say it is the unearned benefit. Like I told you, out of mercy comes favor. And out of favor comes God's grace. So wakati tunasemanga imetake grace ya God, so I believe ina taking out of the grace kuna kitu ingine inaibak. There is favor, and out of that favor there is his mercy. So we all have a personal journey. There are things you yourself you have gone through, and if I may ask you, ni venye uko disciplined sana ndo ufike kwenye uko kweli leo? Ni venye unajua kuomba God sana ndo ufike place yenye uko leo? So it's his mercy, and they are so great to us. So Joseph, as we have read, he obtained favor from the Lord and from the prison wardener. Wanda akapandishwa cheo, akaekwa mlinzi wa wenye walikuwa wamefungwa na wao, like akapandishwa tu cheo. So him being in prison was a turning point in his life. His integrity tunasemanga ndo uadilifu kwenye tunajua Kiswahili, and God's grace began to lead and to rise in his life within the prison. So in Joseph's story, we see God's steadfast love and God's steadfast mercy upon Joseph. And that's why even you yourself, as I'm standing here, and I love the way we have worshipped and praised the Lord today. I don't know if you put essence to the songs we were singing. Tulikuwa sote in the spirit as we were singing. Ni neema yake tu, ni yetu anatupea tu ufunuo for you to know that it's him that we are living. When we call him as our strong tower. How many battles has he fought for you? Wengine wetu maybe hatungesoma, hatungekuwa makazini, maybe due to our addictions, maybe due to our tempers, but yeah, too, he chases us every day, every moment. No wonder that. Sa zingine, it's like, it's an exchange. Chenye si tunapea God, it's not worthy even that much. Yet yes, sisi wengine wetu tunapatanga his mercy and his grace out of credit. Like, anakufanyia tu mambo mazuri wakati you're not deserving of them, wakati you're not worthy of them, so that when you are in that position, when you are credited that mercy, that grace, inafika point unajua, like God anakuprovia, you can do this, you can be better. And when he's giving you that credit, like anataka ujue that you can be better. I'm doing this for you, I'm vying for you so that you can know that unaweza kuwa mtu mzuri. No wonder when utafika place usaidie mtu mwingine, you will be patient maybe with another person, you will do things in a much better way because akiza akaondoa tu his mercy, his grace. I don't know where you could be because everything we have, even the places we live in, zote kila kitu ina constitute of his mercy, of his grace. We have sung here a few minutes ago of the story of Hannah. She cried for a long time due to the lack of a baby. And then God akamuonea tu huruma. Sio ni huruma. Akamjibu kwa wakati. So, hata si ni mara ngapi God ametujibu kwa wakati. You know this thing called the imposter syndrome, wakati maybe unapandishwa cheo na unaachwa in the moment of mimi nimefanya nini, like hiyo ni mimi, like ni mimi nitakuwa hapo sasa, you know. Then imposter syndrome ni ile inability ya kubelieve that success uko nayo, that it's guaranteed, that like you are able, like it's due to your success ama ni wewe, you know. So in an imposter syndrome, it's the inability to believe that someone's success is deserved. Ni mara ngapi maybe unapandishwa cheo ama unaekwa in some place na unaona kabisa mimi nikiza nikajichunguza hakuna kitu nimefanya yenye inani qualify kwa in this position. Kama sisi we who are present here today, nini hiyo kubwa umefanyia God ndo akweke in this position, in this space of singing about his salvation? So it is by his mercies we are able to sing of him, we are able to sing of his goodness in our lives. Saa zingine tunasemanga kuna watu wengine wetu, we eat everything that is eatable And mark you, kuna msee mwingine huko nje haezi kula chenye wewe unakula, na inabidi a reduce maybe rate yake ya kudishi ndo mwili yache kuenda sana, you know. And then kuna sisi wengine, anything you find your way you just eat because food ni tamu, you know. And then kuna huyo mwenye anataka sana ikule but mwili yake haimwalao juu hata maybe anakula kitu kidogo sana but they can't eat as you are eating. Is that not his mercy? Kuna wenye maybe hawezi kula some things due to some sicknesses, and then you are there in the morning, you wake up, patana na mandazi ya mse unakata, patana kitu ya mtu mwingine hapo unataka nigawie. Unaona neema tu, you know, ni nini tumemfanyia sisi ndo tuweke hapa. So this day I want to thank God so much for his mercy. You take it personally as you may, but for me, I understand his mercy so greatly. And when you wanapewa his mercy out of credit, maybe they are different from when you wanapitishiwa character development. Wakati unapitishiwa the character development ya mercy ama grace, you know, it takes you to be so responsible. Inakutake that unakuwa so responsible in God's ways that una change. Kuna vitu zingine ukipewa, you are so diligent in them, you are handling them with so much care because unajua kwenye umetolewa, kwenye amekuweka, kwenye amekufikisha, it's by his mercies, you know. Like I'm saying, when you understand God's mercy, you don't take it to credit. God's mercy ndo lea ajikubali venye God alikuwa anataka. So even as zingine we seek maybe people's approval, and when you are doing that unasahau that kuna chenye God anataka usiki in him juu approval ya watu saa zingine it does not stay like haina root strong ka venye God akona root strong over your life juu something God has said that itakuhapenia, your end will be greater. It's not like mtu akikuambia na nitakufanyia hii, anaweza enda asahau, anaweza maybe akose huo uwezo na alikuwa maybe anataka, you know, it happens. But the mercies of God and the grace of God is what carries us day by day. And as I wind up, I want us to go to the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 12, 8 through 9. Second Corinthians 12, chapter 12, 8 through 9. This is Paul saying, he complained about the thorn in his flesh, and in verse 8 it says, 3 times I pleaded with the Lord to take it away from me, but he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weaknesses. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. I believe we all have some weaknesses. Zingine, they are so hard to hide. Zingine, you cover them so perfectly well. But in verses 9, my grace, he says to Paul that my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weaknesses. Some of us may be going through lower self-esteem, addictions. You know yourself more better, but like Paul, like God told Paul here that Paul says that he's happy in his weaknesses because he knows that God perfects his weaknesses. We all have some weaknesses. I believe it was on last Sunday, for morning devotion, we were preached about how God huwa oni the stars. Si tunaonanga zikiwa bright tukiziangalia, but they are not so bright in God's view. So how about you, a mortal man? Are you so perfect before God? Are you so without weaknesses before God? So it's by His mercies we are what we are. It's by His grace we are made perfect. And like Paul says, I'll boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, my hardships, my struggles, because I know if I exchange my weaknesses with God, atanipea kitu ingine greater. If I exchange my addictions, maybe, for example, you can say, if one exchanges their drinking addiction with God, God atampea thirst ya kumjua. I know of a friend who had this addiction of drinking, and she could not do it by herself, and she told God, I pray that you can take away this addiction, because ya mwenyewe alikuwa anajaribu kutoka from that addiction, but with her own strength she couldn't. You know, some things zinatoka from our lineages. Maybe tunasemanga na Kikuyu ngania wanga ni waga, you know, but unapata ni kitu generational. So for her to break it, like, she came to a place of surrender as to saying to God that mi mwenyewe nataka sana niache, but nashindwa. So we mwenyewe ni nini unataka sana kuacha? Ni nini unataka to give ama to exchange with God ndo akupe kitu ingine greater? Some of us could be having lower self-esteem, and you can exchange that with God. Some of us unapatanga watu wengine wakisema that now I'm ministering, na keza akakuambia mimi singesimama mbele ya watu, mimi maneno ya kuongea sijui kwenyealitokanga, you know. So we are in that point of forming an alliance or forming an exchange with God. Umpe kitu yenye unaona ni filthy sana, let Him perfect it, as we have seen in 2 Corinthians that His grace is sufficient for us, and His power is made perfect in our weaknesses. So let's trust in Him. Let this day be the day that we are exchanging our weaknesses with Him. Be it our lack, be it anything, be it our need. We are saying that we want to build for Him a cathedral. He knows what we have, and we can only exchange what we have with Him ndo yeye atupe even things greater than we are hoping for. So a singer sang this song and said that ulisema naposhindwa nikuite, hivi leo nimekuja nichukue, usiende mbali nami, usiniache peke yangu, Mungu wangu uni. Thank you. So let's, as we stand, as we are winding up, I want us to exchange our weaknesses to Him. I want us to exchange our flaws and our needs, our brokenness. We lay it at His altar, because only Him can make it perfect for us, like He made Paul perfect in the way He wanted him to be. So I believe it's the same for us. Paul maybe alikuwa anaona yeye maybe akipersecute Christians. He was maybe in his view alikuwa anaona I'm doing it like niko sawa, si I'm gaining something. Hata maybe akiwa persecute wengine wauliwe ama wafanyiwe nini, maybe he was gaining money out of it. So the same to us.